All right, guys, welcome to another KevCAM night class tonight. Tonight, got Mr. Terry Hurley helping out with questions, concerns, anything that comes up along the way for you guys.
Hello.
And me and Terry were just talking that right now I'm in a huge winter blizzard up in northern Minnesota, and Terry's sitting in his bathing suit in California.
Yeah, I wish. We actually might get snow up here tonight.
Yeah. Okay, so for those of you guys that are new, everybody is in listen-only mode right now, and that's just to eliminate any background noise. There is a questions panel that is in the GoToWebinar. If you guys do have a question or anything that comes up, definitely shoot that in or put that in there, and then Terry will tell me to, we got a question and we'll address it, or if he can handle it on his own, he'll just type it in for you guys. So, and tonight, go ahead.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. And then tonight we are actually covering toolbox cycles. So there's quite a bit in toolbox cycles, so we're going to try to go through it as fast as we can for you guys and make sure we get through it in a decent amount of time, and kind of go through the ins and outs of the toolbox cycles. And there's a lot of really neat features that they have inside there. So, and then tonight's night class is sponsored by SolidCAM tonight. So, but let me give you guys the flyer here. And if you guys do have ideas, please send those off to me, and we'll send you a free hat and T-shirt. You guys can email those to me at my email address is in the GoToMeeting chat. Also, for you guys that have missed out on previous classes, I will put the link to the YouTube or my YouTube channel in there, and that's going to bring you right to this page right here. And these are all the night classes that we covered, plus some extra tips and tricks in there that I've added in there. Lots of videos in here for you guys to come check out. So definitely come here and subscribe to it so you guys can see all the daily videos I put in there, sometimes daily videos, or ideas that you guys have shot over to me. Okay, well, with that being said, let's get the ball rolling with the toolbox cycles. Now, all of you guys have this part in your guys' directory. So if you guys just go to your SolidCAM open and you go to See User Public Documents, SolidCAM, and then what version you're working on, and then SolidWorks examples, and this part will be in there labeled as toolbox cycles. What I'm going to do for you guys is the toolbox cycles are sometimes just a little bit confusing on what they're looking for, geometry or stuff like that. So I'm going to be walking through, guys, each one of the toolbox cycles that is supplied inside SolidCAM and what it can do for you. So first thing what we'll do is we'll just probe up our part. And let's do a Z-point real quick on the top of the part. And grab a tool real quick. Save and calculate. And now we'll find our X, Y, Z. Or I'm sorry, X and Y, I should say X, Y, and Z. And go to our X and Y here. And we'll do a show. And let me just move this around a little bit here. Looks like we need to go up in our Z. That'll work. Okay, so we got our part probed up now. Now we know where our X, Y, and Z is. Now what we're going to do is we are going to start with our toolbox cycles. Just like any operation, you guys can, it's in your add milling operation as toolbox cycles right here. Or if you guys like your easy access tabs right here, come to your toolbox cycles. Now, in here, it's kind of what it says it is. It's a toolbox full of neat little cycles that are inside of SolidCAM to help you and make you a little bit more proficient on it. Some of them are very simple, basic. Some are a little bit, doing these angled features and draft angles and all that. So there's a toolbox cycle for a lot of the stuff out there. I'm going to give you guys some examples. So first thing we'll do is we'll do the spiral open pocket. Now, if I click in the upper left, I'll get all the different toolbox cycles that are inside here. And I'll tell you guys what each one does as we go through it. So first thing we'll do is we'll do a spiral open pocket. Now this is going to do like a iron machining toolpath. It's going to do a morphing spiral right through the center. So what I'll do is we'll just chain up our part real quick here. And can everybody see my screen okay? Someone just wants to put a yes in there. Just make sure everybody can see me here. Perfect, thanks Clarence. Okay, what do we got going on here?
Looks like you're all set, Kevin. I think everyone can see it.
Perfect.
The next time ask the question, say, can you not see it?
Yeah. Okay, for some reason I have a double chain going on here. Let's do a fresh start here. Okay, so we'll do a toolbox cycle. Now with this spiral open pocket, all you do is you just select two chains. Take that as one. Now it's like, there we go. Take that as the other one. And then, like I said, it's going to do the morphing spiral inside there. So I'm just going to grab my tool number 1 here, a 375 cutter. Levels, same as what you're used to before. And technology. Now, if I do a saving calculator right now, you'll see that it's doing basically the D-slot or the morphing spiral working its way through there. I'm going to put my step down at 0. We'll do a saving calculate so we can eliminate some of the path. So as we get this tool path in here, it knows the outer boundaries because we have the two chains in there, and it comes down and starts and just does the spiral working its way out through the material. So real nice tool path, real nice engagement. You can change the engagement angles right here with a, right now we're set to a minimum of 40 and a maximum of 60. So you can really hog through a lot of material here. Now, like I said, it's like kind of like a iron machining tool path. But for those of you guys that don't have iron machining, this is another great feature inside here that, you can set your step overs, your feed rate, and, all that good stuff right there for you guys. And then it comes back and does a nice cleanup along the outside edge. So if we just do a simulate here, and we got our nice slot right there. So pretty easy, simple. Any questions with the spiral open slot? Okay. So what we'll do here now is I'm just going to make a copy, and we're just going to go right down the line here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the spiral open slot that's wider than, wider than normal. So same thing again. Grab our chain. And we're just going to use that same cutter. Get my depth put in there. Now, you'll see that we basically have the exact same thing as what we did before, but we also have additional passes in here. So now there's a lot of changes I can do in here. So my molding width right here. So see how my molding or the morphing is really tight in there? I can put that at 1.0. And we have a much larger molding width, and then it does the straight line passes. So it's getting the bulk of the material out of there and then coming back and do those straight line passes. Now your parallel cuts is basically how far you want it to step over on those parallel cuts. So, maybe I just want, 150 thou in there, save and calculate. Now I have fewer cuts in there, but it's taking a heavier cut. Or we can do a zigzag, speed it up a little bit, and now it does a zigzag, getting that material out of there. And same thing as before. I can set my minimum cutting angle, my maximum cutting angle. the extension on how far I want it to extend past the geometry. So like typically, you know, if you guys weren't using a toolbox cycle and we weren't using iron machining, you guys would do this in a pocket. And what you'd have to do is chain this whole perimeter right here and mark 2 open ends right here. Well, with this toolbox cycle, all you have to do is just do 2 chains, done, and it does the molding through the center, cleans up those outside, and you're good to go. Okay. Any questions on the spiral open pocket? And trust me, guys, this is, let me know if you have any questions. Don't be scared to be the first one to ask. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll get on to the spiral closed slot. And this is a wider one, so I'm just going to do a copy because we're going to use that same cutter here. Now, and as I hover over these, you know, right now they just show pictures, but if you hover over it and just wait a second, it'll actually pop up the name for you. So we'll do the spiral closed slot. And we'll just continue that chain. We won't close it. We'll just do just this little U shape right here. And we'll accept that. Same tool. It's got my depth in there because I picked my chain at the depth, but you know, we'll make it associative there. Technology, kind of the same thing as before. Maximum cutting angle, minimum cutting angle, molding width, retract height, save and calculate, and basically, like it's doing, like I said before, doing the morphing, working on the center, and then coming back and doing those outside perimeter passes. Now, if you don't want to do the zigzag, you can definitely put it back to the one way. So you'll have a couple more pickups in there, but like I said, a lot of cool little neat features in here that they have. Now, there's not really anything past the technology. Usually, Link, you have the lead in and the lead off. There is none of that in here, just because it knows with the toolbox cycles that everything's starting from the outside and then going in. You know, usually if we have our lead in and lead off, you have to, you know, turn your arcs on and stuff like that. That's all done automatically for you guys. You know, if we wanted to do a finish on the wall, turn our cutter comp on, easy as that. So a lot of that stuff is in there, but it's all simplified pretty much in the technology pages where all the good stuff is. Okay, so now we'll do the additional zigzag slot. Now this is a cool one. This is a one I like to use a lot. Let me just turn that path on. Calculate this real quick. Okay, so now we'll do the additional zigzag slot. Now, guys, if I'm going too fast, let me know. Okay, so we'll chain it. And we'll use that same cutter as tool number 1. Got our levels in there. Now, the zigzag, let me just save and calculate, and you can kind of see what's going on here. So what the zigzag is it basically does a zigzag back and forth through the center of the slot, and then it starts working its way from the center to the outside. Now, you can change your zigzag, the ramping width, which is kind of shown right here in this picture in the lower left, and the ramping angle. So maybe if we want to, you know, do a 10-degree ramp in there, and you have a much larger ramp angle going back and forth. So a real nice feature getting into the material. That way we're not doing a straight plunge straight down into the material. It's doing a nice ramp working its way around. And then you'll notice as we're kind of going through, it does a nice finish pass, and then arcs out and then comes back up. So, okay. Now we have the simple slot. So simple slot, I mean, doesn't get any easier than this. We kind of went over this last week with the regular slot feature. In the toolbox cycle, the simple slot is pretty similar to that. But what it does, it links it around. So what we'll do is just chain one side, chain the other side, hit the green check box. Can't talk today. And let me grab tool number 7 here. Set our levels. Now, if I do a save and calculate, you'll see what it does is it comes in, it arcs into the material, comes through, goes past, and it keeps it in a kind of a loop, and then goes straight through. So, and then your extension, if I don't want to go 60% past, I can change that down to 10% of my tool, and you'll see the start end on the opposite side shrink up quite a bit by changing that extension in there. So, and if you guys want, you guys can add a wall finish, turn your compensation on. Your links between passes, you can leave it at clearance level, safety distance, the level of the current path. So a couple different options in there for you guys. Nothing really in the advance of the toolbox cycles also. So basically all you're really doing is just grabbing your geometry, tools, levels, and technology, and that's it. Okay, so now we have another simple slot over here, but we call it the rolling into a slot. So let's do a save and calculate. And we'll do our toolbox cycle again. Okay, and I'll change it. So now what it's going to do is it's going to kind of roll into it, kind of like a big link in there, a big tangent arc. So we'll do tool number 4 for this guy. Grab our levels, technology, and you'll see that big roll into the material. So it's just a gradual, like I said, it's basically like a profile center line arcing into the material is kind of what it comes down to. But what it does is it finds the center line of your two chains and just rolls right into it. And if you had a smaller tool, you would have to come back and then finish up the walls. But just a neat little roll on, I guess what they call it. I personally never used it, but the option is there for the cycle. Any questions on the top row that we've done so far? Nothing.
No, none yet, Kevin. You're just doing too good of a job.
You are putting them to sleep.
Oh, that could be the other one, but I don't think so.
Okay, so now we'll do
I don't need you to go to sleep.
Yeah. Now we'll do a closed slot. Kind of like the additional zigzag, but a little bit different tool path that it does right there. So let's do a toolbox cycle, and we'll do our closed slot. Now with the closed slot, the tool must be exactly on size. So what I mean by on size is that your tool needs to be, we have, a 375 radius right here. It needs to be a 375 cutter. All right, so grab that cutter here. It's your tool number 8. Put our depth. And that's it. Save and calculate, and it just does a simple slot. And what it also does is it zigzags down into the, or I shouldn't say zigs, it does a zag down into the material, and then does its straight cut, works its way back up. Now, if you wanted to step down, we could definitely do, 100th step down. So it's kind of just working its way back and forth, and that's your basically your angle, or how much you want to go per side to side. So right now we have it set so from this point right here to this point right here, we're actually moving down in the material 100th thou. Simple slot or close slot is about as easy as it gets right there. But like I said, this one is a little tricky just because it needs to be the exact size of your cutter. So if you guys are trying to do a slot and trying to use iron machining, you guys, you have to have a much, or I shouldn't say much, but you have to have a smaller tool than what is of the size of in iron machining. This way you can use the exact tool on size, doing a nice approach, just doing a simple zigzag back and forth in there. Okay, so now we'll go to this guy right here. And this is our spline slot. Get this one, yep. And with the spline slot, just chain it all the way around, but you don't close it. So I'm just gonna, there we go. And I'm gonna leave it open on the end right there. And we're gonna grab our tool number 5. Got our levels in there. So now what it's doing is it's coming in the center, working its way out, and then coming and chewing out the outside material out. Now you can set a tolerance in here of how tight you want it to go up to it. Let's just do a simulation here and show you what it's kind of looking like. And I'm going to slow it down a little bit here. So just starting from the exact center and then working its way out. Kind of like the open slot that we did up here doing the morphing, but since we're not really doing a slot, it's doing kind of a spline or a funky pattern. It's always going to start at the center and then work its way out to the outside perimeter. So pretty easy. Like I said, there's not much in here. A lot of these are really simplified for you guys, so there's not a lot of options in there, but there's enough there to get the job done and what you're looking for. Okay, next is one of my favorite, and this is a big question that comes up a lot, at least on the support. This one works excellent when you guys are using toe clamps. If you guys are using a vacuum fixture and you're vacuuming on something, this is what we call temporary bridges. This one can be used for a lot of things. So let me just throw a chain on here and I'll kind of explain what goes on with the temporary bridges. And I got to pick my temporary bridges. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to grab that tool number 1 again here. Got my depth in there. So the temporary bridges. Now let's say you guys had toe clamps holding this center piece in right here. Or maybe you guys had a bolt sitting right here, and you guys, you can't machine the bolt off, but you guys just want to leave a little bit there, machine the majority of the part off, do that outside bridges, and then you unbolt it or untoe clamp it, and then you come to the bandsaw and cut them off, or the sander, or whatever you guys want to do. This is really nice. So what it does is it adds temporary little bridges in there. Let me just do a save and calculate on that part. So it's going to secure that part in there, but it's still milling the outside of the profile. Now, there's 2 different ways you can do it. We have automatic and manual. So manual, you can actually pick exactly, where you want those bridges. So let's just say I want 2 bridges, the top and the bottom. Click them, save and calculate. So now, if I can rotate it here, you'll see that we're coming down, going around the outside of the profile, skipping over that little piece and coming back down and going around the additional profile. Now I can change the width of my bridges. So maybe I just want a 50 thou bridge in there. And I can also do the thickness. So maybe, let's see, this part right here is 375 high, but maybe I just want my bridge thickness to be, 100 thou, because that's all I need to hold it in there. So what it's going to do is it's going to come in here. I'm going to get the zoom around here. It's going to come down. It's going to machine all the way around the outside perimeter, leaving that 100 thou. And then what it's going to do is it's going to go down to the full depth of cut, what we told it in the levels right here, and machine all the way down, and then coming up that 100th thou, and then coming back down and going around. So you have that 100th thou bridge there holding, securing your part in there. You know, if we just went to bridge position, maybe I just want one bridge. Didn't I just pick one? Oh, here, I gotta clear my list. There we go. And now I just got one bridge that's a 100th thou gap, and you know, maybe I don't want my bridge width being 50 thou, maybe I just need it, you know, 10 thou. So real nice feature in here for those of you guys that are doing the thinner parts, toe clamps. I use this a lot. You know, if I had a toe clamp right here, clamping it onto this part, obviously I'd make my bridge width, you know, 0.75. And I completely just avoided my toe clamp that was sitting on there. So real neat feature. Probably one of my favorite toolbox cycles in here, the one that gets used the most. Just because I said, you know, guys, if you guys are using a big plate, anything that you need a toe clamp onto something, that's the way to do it. And then what you guys can do is that toe clamp is sitting right there. You can run this program, take that toe clamp or put a toe clamp over here, remove this one, and then you can come back and just cut out what was left over there. So real nice little feature that they had in there. It was kind of more based off of using for the CNC wood routers with the big vacuum tables, but you know, the sky's the limit on what you guys can do with this one. So, and it's all right there. You know, if you guys want to do step downs, you can do, you know, your finish with your compensation. So you have your tool comp. All that's in there for you guys. The only thing that's missing is it does do a straight plunge in the material and goes around. So if you guys were going into some harder material, what I would do is do like a pre-drill right here, and you can drill out where you want the start point, and then you can actually use that as a pre-drill operation right here. So any questions on the temporary bridges?
You got a quiet group tonight, Kevin.
I guess so. Okay.
Tim, you had your hand up. Was there a question, Timothy? Shows a hand raised. I guess not.
Okay. So now what we'll do is it's called.
Actually, Kevin.
Sure.
Nikolai has a question. How to do a pre-drill?
Okay, so if you're going to do a pre-drill on this particular one right here, let me just kind of get a top view here. What I would do is just create a sketch point. And
Tim asked you to just slow down a little bit.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to go as slow as possible here. Exciting stuff for me, at least. Okay, so I created that sketch point right there. So if I was going to do a pre-drill, come in here, do my drilling. Got my drill point there. Tool, select. We'll pre-drill it with a 375. And you can use the end mill drill, doesn't matter. Do a depth right there. And we'll just do a peck it out. Okay, so there's my pre-drill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and drag this down. So now I'm doing the pre-drill. Now I come doing my temporary bridges. Come to my link, and it's going to see that I had a pre-drill right there. I can hit that check box. Oh, let's see, what size tool are we using? Okay, so usually you want to pre-drill with a larger. I did the same tool, and that's probably what's throwing our error up here. Let's just do a select, add a drill, and we'll just do a 378. Okay, that looks good. Calculate. Uh-oh, maybe I made a liar out of myself. Let's see. Okay, let me try one other thing here, guys. No, it should pick up that pre-draw. Nick, I'm going to have to look into that one and see why it's not, why my pre-drill right here is not allowing me to turn it on. Normally it'd be able to come right here and hit that checkbox and then hit the checkbox for the drill one because it knows that that tool is larger, has the location and everything, and then it would start right through that drill hole and come into there. But I just don't know why it's not pulling that up right now. So I'll have to look into that, Nick, and get back with you on that one. Go in, adding...
Harry De Leon had a question. How you doing, Harry? Please go over the second toe clamp.
Okay.
Thanks, Nikolai.
Second toe clamp. Let me delete that. Okay, so first toe clamp is sitting right there. Now the second toe clamp is going to be coming over here. So either, Harry, what we could do is we could do another toolbox cycle and grab that. I'll just grab that geometry again here. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it to manual. Now let's say my toe clamp is sitting over here now. Save and calculate. So now let me uncheck this one. So here's my toe clamp now, and here's my toe clamp before. So there's before, after. Does that make sense, Harry? Or what you could also do is just do a simple profile and then buzz off that spot right there. Because that way you wouldn't have to go all the way around the outside perimeter. Yes, you can select precisely those points. So if I wanted to do a sketch right here, sorry, I know some of you guys can't see the questions there. Nick asked if I could put, for those temporary bridges, a exact point. If you guys want to do an exact point, just mark it with the just a sketch point right there. And then I can come in here and then now when I go to my bridge positions, do a clear list, I can exactly click right on that point, and it's going to put it right at 58.4783% of a shift. So.
Thanks, Nikolai. That perfect. Looks like that's what he's looking for.
Excellent. Harry, did that answer your question too, or Haley Dillon? Okay, Harry, if I didn't answer your question, let me know on the questions queue. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's got it.
Perfect.
Good. Thanks, Harry.
Okay, so now we're going to do that simple slot. Or I'm sorry, simple corner. So just basically a corner it's been cut off on at an angle. So what we'll do is toolbox cycle. All I have to do is just chain the angle. Hit the green check bar. I always forget to do this. Grab your toolbox cycle before you pick your geometry. Okay, there we go. All right, and we'll just grab that tool number 1. Levels are set. Save and calculate, and let's just do a step down 0. Okay, so what we're doing here is it knows by, just putting that angle chain in there, that it comes out to a 45 right here. So it knows to go all the way out to that point. We're not cutting any air at all. So if we just did a clear offset, doing profile, we'd have much larger lines over here. This eliminates all the air cutting, and it kind of pretty simple as it goes. Just kind of goes back and forth. Now, if I wanted to, I can just do a zigzag and kind of cleans up the path a little bit better right here. Kind of just working away from the outside, just kind of coming in. I can do the smoothing corners, and it should put a little. Oh, looks like it didn't. Usually, well, smoothing corners is going to be. Sorry, if we get in a sharp corner, it will put the radius in there. I was thinking I was going to add the radius right here. Don't think we have that option. No, I don't see that one on this one. You can do by passes. So if you have several angle spots, you can do it by passes or slices. But like I said, just drawing or chaining just one single line figures out all that stuff for you. So like I said, normally if you guys would do this, it'd be in a pocket operation, and you have to chain all 3 of these chains, mark open edges, or you guys would have to do a profile line and do a clear offset out to here, and then your line would still be long, so you're doing a lot of air cutting. So that is the simple corner. Okay, so now we're going to get into the broaching. Now, broaching is kind of like for your keyways and all that. Pretty easy, simple. Now, if you guys do have broaches on your machines, let us know, because the broaching is in there, but from what I remember, the post processors on the older posts, so posts from 2013, they might have to be updated. So just let me know if you guys want to use broaching. Make sure we have that in the post for you guys. So we'll go to toolbox cycles here, grab our broach, and we're just going to chain just the one side. And let me just do a reverse here because I want it going up. We'll grab a broach. And, broaching, it gives you all the parameters right here. I'm just doing a 6 millimeter wide broach right here. And basically, for those guys that haven't used broaching before, what broaching does, it's a square tool that just takes little shavings, moving over slowly each at a time to get that keyway in there. Some of you guys might use an arbor press, and with a gradual broach, you have the little spacer in there and the little teeth, and you just push it through with the arbor press. But you can actually do it in your machine. So what it does is it locks the spindle, or it orientates the spindle and then locks it and keeps it in there. It doesn't turn the spindle on, but just moves up and down in Z. So let me grab my depth here. Now your step over is how much do you want to take per cut. Default value is 40 thou. If you're broaching wood or something really soft, that would work fine. You guys get into metals, you're going to have to move this down to about 2 thou. And basically that's how far it's moving over each time. So if we do a save and calculate here, you'll see we're kind of, well, there's a lot in there. Let's just do 10 thou so you can get a good visualization of what's going on. Okay, so what we're coming down is, we're coming down and comes into the feed mode, and it shaves off. And then it retracts out, comes back up and moves over that 50 thou, and then comes down to a feed move, and then just slowly shaves that off. And you can change the retract distance so it's a little bit higher above. But broaching's broaching. Any questions with the broach or how it works? Now, if I would have picked, the center of the chain, then I can change my center or my tool side to center. But basically, it's just kind of coming in there and chomping down, working its way through. Let's just do a verification here. And so just kind of slowly chomping away at it. Like I said, if we were doing this in, you know, harder material, want to do something smaller here. And let's get zoomed in here. So does that kind of make sense with the broaching? I know a lot of guys don't use it very often, or you guys use your own cycle for broaching, but it is in there for you guys if you guys have that. If you guys do have broaches that you have to do for QAs or whatnot. Okay. So now we're going to do a rolling into a closed slot. Basically kind of how we did the open slot over here, but now it's kind of a U shape. So we'll go back to our toolbox cycle. And let's chain this bad boy. Terry, you forgot to tell me to pick the operation first, the cycle first. Okay, there. Okay, so we're going to do tool number 4. Levels are set. Technology, I'm going to leave everything. And so it comes in there, rolls in, does that center cut, retracts back out, rolls on in, and does the finish cut working all the way around. So just a nice large lead in, lead out, using the center of the geometry to get the material out of there first, and then coming back and then doing that finish cut. Pretty simple, easy. Okay, so next one we're going to do is the islands, or simple multiple bosses is what they call. So what we'll do is simple multiple boss. And the only thing you have to chain here is just your bosses. Okay, and need to reverse all these chains here. And we'll grab our tool number 1. Put our depth in there. And now is the clear offset. So clear offset is how much do you want to offset it out. So if I just do save and calculate, I'm really hacking into my part here. You can see I got a huge circle going around. So what I'm going to do is click the clear offset button, and I'm just going to click to an outside point right there. And now I'm not machining off 3/4 of my part here. And basically what it does is it's kind of like a profile operation with the clear offset, just simplified down a little bit for you guys. So I can do it in step downs right here, so I can do multiple passes. But basically what it's doing is it's coming in there and going around my islands. Now obviously I can't fit my tool in between there, so it's not going to try to go in there and gouge my part, but it's going to get as close as it possibly can. So plus getting the outside material out. So if you guys are looking to do a you know, just a center island, this is another great great way to do it here. It does a nice little zigzag S move every time it moves in, but it does not take into consideration the outside perimeter. So you'll see that we're getting some air cutting over here and some air cutting over here. But you know, just a great way to do it if you guys you know, if you got multiple different islands or bosses, as they say. Okay, so now we'll do the one-sided open slot. This is kind of like the angle corner, but this is a little bit better. So I'm going to just do a save and copy here, and grab our one-side open slot, and we'll chain this, and then what we're going to do is accept that chain, and now we're just going to throw a straight chain down like that, hit the green check mark, levels are set, save and calculate, and it does kind of like a tricoidal morph spiral, getting that material out of there. But you also notice that you know, we're not doing any air cutting, as like I was saying before. So kind of coming right up there, there is going outside the part right there. But like I said, kind of following the contour of it, not doing any air cuts. So like I said, these are just little toolbox cycles or little tricks that they have in there for you guys to help out with different cutting patterns. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll do the ruled toolbox cycle. So we'll do a saving copy here, and we'll go to the ruled. And this one just requires 2 chains. You know, basically the same thing as before. So we'll just grab chain there, chain there. Same cutter, same levels, save and calculate. So obviously this cut right here is not going to, is really not going to work. I don't want it to start and stop on a finish wall right here. So what I can do over here is my cutting direction, I can do across or along. If I click the along, now we're doing lengthwise. You know, if I want to clean the toolpath up a little bit, I can do zigzag and just kind of working its way out. So you'll see over, let me do a top-down view. So you'll see our lines, the width of our gap over here is much larger than over here. So just kind of doing a zigzag back and forth. You know, the center line right here is nice and straight, and then going back through. Now you can change your step overs. So maybe you want, you know, 150 thou step over. Definitely increases your the width of your lines right there. Your extensions of the tool path, it's all right there. You know, maybe we want to do a wall finish, leaving 5 thou. Oops. Doing a finish on the wall with compensation. And now we have a nice, cool looking tool path, plus we're doing a finish on the wall. Okay. O-ring, for cutting O-rings. So let's do a toolbox cycle here. We'll grab our O-ring option. And just 2 chains like before. And what it's going to do is the tool's going to center itself right inside there, doing a spiral, working its way around. 2, 3. Have my levels, technology, save and calculate, and you'll see it's doing a helical entry into that O-ring. I can change my angle that I go in there, my step down, how many cuts I want to do, extension overlaps, all that stuff. And let me just do a solid verify so you can kind of get a better picture of what's going on there. Oh, that was a little fast. Let's try Machine Sim. See if that gives us a better view of it. Okay, let's slow it down a little bit. That's it. Got a little fast. But you'll see it does a nice corkscrew working its way all the way down. All the way down. Oh, looks like, I wonder why Terry was so quiet. He got kicked off. Let me get him back in here. Okay. Okay, so there's the O-ring groove. Are you back, Terry?
Thanks, Kevin. Sorry about that. Yeah, it crashed, and then when I come back in, it had me as a guest. And so sorry about that.
No problem at all. Okay, so this kind of pertains to 4th axis right here. If you guys are doing a round part, you want to do on a flat surface here. So what we can do is, if you guys just want to machine this off, typically what we can do is just do a line and do a clear offset, working our way out. But it's going to look a little bit different than what you guys are used to seeing. So let's just do a toolbox cycle. I think I have this one. Yeah. So like I said, I kind of set it up as like a 4th axis part right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chain just the one chain right there. Oh, I always forget to grab that the cycle first. There we go. Now I can grab my geometry. And I'm going to use that same tool number 1. Just grab my depth. Now, cylinder diameter is the diameter of the cylinder. So we have just do 6. Oops, 0.6. Okay. So now you'll see, let me take this in multiple step downs. So I'm going to do a rough of, let's do 100 thou, and do a zigzag, kind of clean up the path. Okay, so now if I go over to this side right here, you'll see, if I get this zoomed around, what it does is it compensates for the cylinder. So we're not cutting air at any one point in time. So I don't know if, can you guys see a good view of that? The top lines are much shorter. The middle lines are a little bit longer. The bottom lines are longer yet. Hopefully you guys can see that. I don't know if it's a little tough through the GoToMeeting, but I don't know how else to get a good view. Maybe if we do a straight down view. So here's the top chain doing a nice zigzag working its way through. And it's all based off the cylinder diameter that I put in there. So real nice. And if you guys want to see what it kind of looks like, you can click that little show button right here or hide the preview. Maybe you guys want to do a wall offset of 5 thou. Oops. And you want to do a nice finish pass with cutter comp. So now it's getting all that material out of there. And then, like I said, we're not machining. The biggest thing is we're not machining any air. So, great. Thanks, Clarence. I didn't know if you guys could see that or not. So, just a nice little tool to have, so you're not, like I said, not wasting any, especially on a circle. We really have no way of doing that in any 2.5D operation, even profile. We're going to be cutting air. The only way that we could actually do this right now without the toolbox cycle is using 3D eye machining, and 3D eye machining is going to compensate for that that circle stock. So real nice feature, and I mean anybody that has 2D standard has all this stuff. So, and if there any guys that aren't seeing or don't have toolbox cycles, shoot me an email and we'll get you hooked up. So the next one is a little bit odd. I've never used it, but what it is called I think it's a trim rib cut. So what the rib cut does is it just trims. So let's say you came in here and you buzzed it off and you just had a little bit of a rib hanging out. Let's just chain it real quick here. And let's just use a 1/2 inch will work. Depth right there. And now what it's going to do is it's basically just going to take the very tip edge of that end mill and just buzz along that line. Now, if I want to set it over farther, I can put 50% in there, and it's 50% of the tool is going to kind of buzz right along that line. So just taking a real light buzz cut off there. Like I said, honestly, guys, I don't know where that I've ever used this feature before. But if you guys do just have a small little rib that needs to be cut off, that's the way to do her. That's all I can say about that one. Okay, so now we'll get into kind of like the circle right here, but on this angle surface. So what we'll do is toolbox cycles, and we are going to do the flattened surface on a corner. Now what I did is I set up a coordinate system. So if this was kind of straight up and down here or a 5-axis, but you know, got a coordinate system that's flat with that face right there. And whoop, go this way. Oh wait, no. What I need to do is, I'm sorry guys, all I need to do is do a one single line, and then it figures out the rest of it for me. Sorry about that. All right, we'll just grab that tool number 1 here. Depth of 0. Now, one thing I forgot here, define working area. So you guys can actually put a working area in there. What it did is it already set it up to 45 degrees, so it kind of did a triangle chain for me just by putting that one single line chain in there. And now, if I do save and calculate, now we're doing a cut coming down on that angle. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a clear offset, come out to my outside chain here, hit the green checkbox, and we'll do a step over of 100th thou. And so now, let me kind of get this zoomed out here. And you can see that it's compensating for that theoretical point that would be there coming down that the value that I told it. So we're doing a step down of 1875. Now maybe if I want to do a 50 thou step down, so it's coming down 50 thou, so it knows that theoretical triangle point right there for you guys all automatically just by picking that single line chain going down. If you guys want to take it all in one pass, you can just do 0. And it's going to do it all in one pass there, but that's basically just kind of doing a straight profile. We can do a zigzag, but the step downs is kind of what makes this one key here. So we're going to do step down to 50 thou, and like I said, kind of get this zoomed off so you'll see we're not doing any air cutting at all, just based off of that theoretical point. And it does do the extensions right there, so I'm extending at 60%, and maybe I just want to extend at 10% of the cutter, so I can shrink it up a little bit right there.
Kevin, there was a couple questions. Nikolai asked if it's standard with all packages, and Harriet, is this for 4th axis as well?
Okay, Nick, to answer your question, it is standard with all packages except for Express. Is that right, Terry?
Yes.
Express is the only one that does not have toolbox cycles. So if you guys only purchase Express, you won't have that. But everybody else, if you guys have 2D Standard, 2D Pro, 3D Pro, 4 and 5 axis, you guys all have the toolbox cycles. And Harry, yeah, you can use this for 4 axis also, definitely. What I did here is I just wanted a angled surface. So if we were, you know, let's say we wanted this part was sitting at an angle in our vise. Let me just kind of trying to rotate it so I can get it. Actually, if I do click that and that. Okay, so if this part was sitting in a vise just like this, this is another scenario with just using with the 3 axis. So if you have your part sitting at an angle, you got your coordinate system down here, it's just going to take and kind of buzz that through, and that's kind of how I wanted to set it up, and that's why that coordinate system is actually at an angle. So if you're looking at it like this, you know, our part that's straight, and you're just trying to mill off the top corner. Yep, and it does work with 3-axis. So.
How about 3-axis at a slant? Harry asked.
Well, what it's doing here is it's yeah. Okay, so let me get to that question. He's asking if it cuts as a 3-axis slant. That's actually this one right here, and I'll show you guys that cutting that at a slant in 3-axis or 2.5D actually in the side of the toolbox cycle. So you can actually do a 3D path right here. But let me get to that one real quick here. Okay, any other questions with the angle milling right here? Okay. So let's go to toolbox cycles again here, and we are going to do what's called the rib cut or the kidney cut, and kind of shows you what to chain first. So chain your outside perimeter, chain your inside island. This would also work with the multiple islands that we had right here. So it would know the outside perimeter and it would come up to the islands. So what we'll do here is I got it? Yeah. So what I'll do is chain my outside. Oop, going the wrong way here. Oh, hang on, that's why I'm on Mac 3. I need to go back to Mac 1 here. For some reason I am not seeing, okay. There we go. So we chain the outside perimeter, and then we chain the inside boss. Hit the green check mark. Grab tool number 4 here. Levels are set. And basically you're going to eliminate all air cutting up to that island. So it comes in there and gets all that cutting done for you guys. Eliminate, you know, the clear offset, or, you know, like I was doing up here, we're actually doing a lot of air cutting right here. Can come in here, change my extension just to have 1%, save and calculate. And so the tool is just going 1% past. But let's see, clearance. Yeah, that was my Mac 3, sorry, clearance. So it's kind of used just like pocketing, but in pocketing you'd have to come in here and mark these open edges and then come and click your island. With the simple boss, you don't even have to mark open edges. Just do your chain on the outside, chain on the inside, and you're done. Okay, so now you save a copy, and we will do the spiral pocket. Now I did a video on a spiral pocket in my channel using 3D milling. The spiral pocket right here only works on a circle. It won't work on any other odd shape. It has to be a circle. So that's the only downfall of the spiral pocket right here is, yeah, I'm trying to get through my my notes here, make sure I'm not missing anything. See, simple boss. The spiral pocket has to be a perfect circle. So we'll grab our levels are set, technology, save and calculate. And did I forget to change my geometry? I think I did. Okay, so what it does is it does a nice helical entry, working its way in, and then does a corkscrew pattern or spiral working all the way to the outside perimeter, does one full finish pass going all the way around, and you're done. But like I said, the only downfall of this is it has to be a perfect circle. So if you guys have an oddball shape, it's not going to work. And that's where you're going to have to use your 3D milling and the spiral feature there. And like I said, I did kind of cover that in how to do a spiral on a pocket right here. So if you guys are looking for a oddball shape of a pocket and you want to do a spiral, come watch this video right here, and it will show you exactly how to do that. Okay. So the next one is for wood cutting, I guess you could say. This is one that I haven't used, but it's called, wood cutting. So basically, if you're just coming down with a pneumatic chop saw, or a trying to think what else would have a saw. But the only thing I can think of is at the plant that I used to work at, we had a bunch of automator saws, and they would come down and just do a cut. You guys can program that in here. So what we'll do is we'll just chain this guy right here. Grab my tool. The tool is going to look a little different. We have a saw blade. And for those of you guys that have never seen this, it is in there. If I do add a, whoops, no, I don't want to save. Oh, it only gives me the option as a saw blade. It is a saw blade option. Let me just exit out so you guys can actually see what it looks like. Let me exit out here. Go to tool. If you scroll down right to the very bottom, there is a saw blade in there. So if you guys are using a automated saw blade, it is in there for you. Okay, so let's get back. Toolbox cycle. Oop. Grab my geometry. I want it to cut down to right there. Grab that saw blade. Got my depth already. So you can do different step downs right here, but basically just kind of coming in there, buzzing across, and then coming right back up. Right now I'm buzzing through other parts here, so if I do a 30%. So let's do a simulate here. Like I said, just a saw blade coming down and cutting and coming right back off. So it's more for that automated chop saw or automators or stuff like that that works great with. Okay. Now here we get to answer your question with the angled surface. So let's do toolbox cycle. So what I did is got a Mac created right on the top center of that, just to kind of give it a reference point, just for doing this specific of an angle surface here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the angled along cylinder. Now what I want to do is chain the area that I want to work in. And we're going to use tool number 1 here. Now depth, just put it at the lowest point of your part. Now technology. Let's just do a save and calculate, and you'll see what's going on here. Let me try to get this buzzed around here. So it's stepping down every time at my step, my scallop. So I can do a max step down right here, or I can do a scallop height. And the scallop is, let's see if I can, is the distance from the flat to the cusp of the cut. So if you guys are looking for a real fine finish, you're going to want to tighten this baby up to 10th thou or even smaller. Let's do a zigzag. And you'll see that we're doing a zigzag pattern, working our way all the way down on that angle surface. So, and then your cuts in between, you guys can increase or decrease that. I mean, we make this 100th thou right here. and then it kind of increases the value. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get a good view for you guys here. Probably guys saying, stop moving it. So the step over, or I'm sorry, the parallel cut step over is the 100th thou, so it's between these two lines right here, and your scallop is how much it's going down, or you can just do your max step down of, 10 thou, or, if you want to do a max step down of 5 thou for an even better finish, that's the way to do it. Does that kind of answer your question, Harry, on how to do it on the 3-axis, or does that kind of give you a good example? Excellent.
Yes. Thanks, Harry.
Any other questions on this one?
Yeah, Nick, can we change the angle? Nick asked.
Nick, the angle is solely based off of your chain. So when let me get rid of this toolpath real quick. When I pick this line going all the way down, around, and back around, that's where it figures out the angle for you. Okay, perfect, got it. Yeah, and like I said, Nick was asking if you can modify this angle, and you just have to change, the angle of this face right here. Okay, we're going late. Terry's gonna be falling asleep on us here.
Oh, thanks for waking me up, Kevin.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, so we'll put it back to Mac 1. Now this one is called thin wall. What we're doing here in thin wall is basically a different way. So if you guys are using harder materials, you don't want to, obviously, machine all on one side, skip over to the other side and go to the other side and have that wall kind of tip over because of heat or whatnot. So what you want to do is throw 2 chains on there. Okay, so now we have our 2 chains going down. And we'll grab tool number 4 here. Oops. Grab our levels. Technology. Now, sorry, one thing I guess some of you guys might not know, but when I come in here and I'm grabbing levels, sometimes my levels are already in there. The only time my levels are automatically in there is if I pick the chain at the bottom, then the levels will automatically be populated because it's based off of the height of my chain that I picked. So that's why it throws it in there automatically. This time I actually picked the top of the part instead of the bottom of the part, and so I actually had to put that value in there. So. Okay, so now technology. So basically what we're doing here, get a preview, and we have a ton of toolpath in there. So we want to do a step down of, let's do 100 thou. Okay, so what we're doing here is you can do a clear offset to get a little bit farther out. And basically what it's doing is it's coming and starting from the outside and working its way in. Now you can do altering steps or you can do supporting steps. The supporting steps is just going to take it all in one cut, and so you can't really do the clear offset. Alternating steps is going to kind of go back and forth, back and forth. So let's just do a save and calculate. I got to change my clear offset again here. And let's just simulate this through so I can give you guys a good view of what's going on. So just kind of working its way from the outside, working its way in up to that. So we're doing the even stress load on that thin wall. If you get a real thin wall, you obviously don't want to take all from one side, bounce over to the other side, and take from that side because we're going to get a lot of warping going on depending on the material that you're cutting. And you'll see it, did I get that at the end? It does it as angle steps too. I forgot about that. So if I do a side view here, see how it slowly just pecks that material out of there? So real neat feature. Let me just get a side view. So if we kind of get in here, you'll see that we're plucking away, angling it down for that thin wall. we go. Slow it down a little bit here. Like I said, it works really good for those thin features. Okay, so now that is all of our toolbox cycles all wrapped up here. What I want to do here is, let me get I got that one, that one. So I'm going to drag all my Mac 1s together here. Okay, so let's see what we've done so far. So we're running this on our 3-axis Haas here, probing up our part. And while this is playing through and you guys are watching it, any questions, concerns, anything that comes up that you have a question on that I went over too fast or need to see something done?
Kevin, Harry had a question.
Let's see. You did a demo at IMTS.
You did a demo at ITMS.
15 of a Pyro MID using something like this cycle. Could you do a demo on? Could you demo this sometime? Pyro MID.
Pyramid.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The pyramid cut, is that what you're kind of looking for, Harry? Taking off that angle surface?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you bet. Just Harry, you just shoot me an email whenever you want tomorrow, and actually between for those of you guys who don't know, every Thursday we do an international meeting that usually lasts about 2 hours. So from 9 o'clock to around 11 o'clock is bad time, but just let me know when you're free, Harry, and I'll definitely go over that with you and show you how it's done. And one thing I just noticed here is when I did my angle cut here, I don't know if you guys see that or not, but I'm not cutting outside my material. So let me, I think that was my 4, yep. So what I need to do for that one is just do my extensions larger. So if we'll do 50, actually, let's do 100. There we go. So that's kind of angle. And then I would have to come back and now I have a pretty large scallop height right there, but then I would have to come back and just do a profile and knock off these edges because it doesn't keep going into that flat. And then what I could do, I guess, is create a chain if I needed to go down that flat, create a chain where it comes down to right here and then comes straight out and then around, and then it would clear off that material for us. So, any other questions, guys, concerns, something that you wanted to see, something I missed out on? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys like it? No, I'm kidding. Okay, so that will kind of wrap up everything, guys. Like I said, this will be up on the website. You guys do all have this part, so definitely, play with it. But please, guys, if you guys have any questions, shoot me an email right away. Let me know. A couple of you guys have shot over emails and gotten back to you. So if you guys have the questions, shoot me an email, give us a call. Let us know what we can do to make it better, things that you guys want to see changed or anything like that. So thanks again for taking the time out of your night. I know we went a little long tonight, but we had a lot of stuff to cover in a short period of time. So Tim, I apologize for having to go a little fast here, but
Kevin, Harry wanted to know where they find the part that she just worked on.
Okay, the part is located under, let we go to C, Users, Public Documents, SolidCAM, and pick what version you're using, and User, and there it is right there, Toolbox Cycles. Or if you go into the Getting Started Examples, it's also in there too, Toolbox Cycles right here. So what I'll do is I'm going to copy this path and put it into the chat for you guys. So there you guys have it where it's located. If you guys don't copy it out right now, you guys will actually lose that. So if you guys need that path, copy it out right now. And I'll put that into the YouTube video too, so you guys will have that link for it. But any other questions? Can you please?
Yeah,
oh, yep, Nick, I'll put it up there too, so it'll be all ready for you. But Terry, got anything else?
I think we're all set.
All right, guys. Well, have a great night. Look forward to talking to you guys again next Wednesday. The classes are going to get more exciting and a little bit tougher here. So I'm trying to think what we have next week, but we're getting into the more advanced stuff, and we'll get into a lot more complex machining for you guys. So like I said, thanks again for joining us. Shoot those ideas to me in an email or any suggestions or comments or concerns, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a great night, guys.
Thanks, Kevin, and thank everyone for their time at the meeting, and thank you for your questions. And if there's anything I could do, those of you that got me email, shoot me an email. Have a good night.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks, Kevin. Bye-bye.